All right, guys, I'm really excited for our call tonight. I know a lot of you are anxious to hear from Lori because she's bringing a whole different side to the game that a lot of you really want to hear about. And so just a couple of little things about Lori. So she recently quit her job, her full-time job. She's making like 50K coaching, okay? She's 57 years old. She doesn't look any day over like 35. You look really good.
Thanks.
She has 50 active coaches on her whole downline right now. And she's a 3-star diamond coach in Beachbody. That's really, really awesome. And I don't know if you know this, but I saw you at the leadership conference. And I know she goes to Summit and does all that stuff and fits right on in with everybody. And she's going to tell us a little bit more about how she does it and what she does and a little bit more about her story. So Lori, go ahead and take it away.
Okay, so first of all, I want to thank everybody for joining. I know it's not your regular night, so my team calls on Tuesday nights. So Brooke was nice enough to move it. So I did a little slideshow. So it's no pictures, it's just words, but it helps me like at least organize my thoughts. So I'm just curious, how many people on this call are say like over 45? Okay, all right.
Yeah.
We've got a few. Oh, and there's some people on the call. Okay. And if you're not, then you know somebody who is, right?
Yep.
I have a mother, like Nikki, like had me. So, all right. So I guess, should I share my screen?
Yeah, you can go ahead and do that.
Okay, let me make sure I'm in the right spot. Hold on. I'll just hop over there. Okay. I did it in Google Sheets. So I said how to be a successful senior coach, right? So
really struggling to find the right word.
Seasoned isn't like, seasoned can be young, like Lindsay Matway's seasoned and I'm senior. Okay, so I wonder if I should make it into a bigger, I think I can do, oh, it's over here. I'll keep you, so you guys present. Is that gonna work? Or do you want to see my face? Do you want to see my face?
Nope, that's perfect. Whatever.
All right. All right, so this is just a little bit about me. So I am 57 years old. So I started when I was 54. I started my first challenge group when I was 54. And so I signed up as a coach right before I turned 55. So I'm a wife. I am on my second marriage. So I've been married 7 years. I'm a mom to 2 daughters and a grandma to a grandson and a granddaughter with a third on the way. I'm a huge Redskins fan. So it's been sad for the last few years. As Brooke said, I did work in a full-time job outside of, not coaching when I started. Worked basically as a part-time coach for 18 months. So I quit about a year ago. So I worked in IT project management for 20 years. And so I was a 6-figure earner. And so I think it's important to also say what kind of personality I am, because we have all different kinds of personalities. I happen to be a Ruby/Emerald personality, and I have a lot of pearls on my team. I don't have a lot of rubies on my team. So Brooke said I'm a 3-star diamond coach. I am a legend with SC5, and I am an all-star for SC10. And in May, I will be a SC10 all-star legend. And then I have I think last count I had 53 active coaches. But I have quite a few discount coaches, and sometimes they go in and out of being active. So how I got started, I was a challenger. So, and I think this is very, very important. I sign most of my successful coaches come from challengers. And so I do run coach recruiting sneak peeks, and I'll talk about that. But I will say honestly, my best people tend to be, challengers who've had transformations. So yes, we always remember our date that we started. So mine was November 4th. I did T25, and my daughter had just signed up as a coach. So I signed up to help her. She was very, very broke. Her husband and her were both laid off from their jobs. She had a couple of side gigs that she was just doing from home. And so, I wanted to do everything I could to help her and support her in her new endeavor, although I didn't really like NLMs or network marketing companies, multi-level marketing companies. I had recently been at a Nu Skin was old back in the day. Let's see, Nerium. I'd just been to a Nerium party, and it was really awful. I mean, it was so tacky the way they did it. And so I hate the idea of home parties and all that. So I did sign up for Challenge Pack because I wanted to lose weight. I wanted to be healthier. So I bought a Challenge Pack. So I didn't know I was on auto ship. So I always get really, and so I got the like combo pack. And so when I decided I wanted chocolate, and I called and ordered, and she was so new, either she didn't know to tell me or she was too afraid to tell me. I don't know. And so I ordered a chocolate bag, and like the next day I got a vanilla and chocolate, box again. And I'm like, what the heck? And so I called Beachbody and I gave them a piece of my mind, and I was like, so like mad. Of course, I didn't read the fine print, but so when she broached the Coach discount, I was totally shut her down, and I remember telling her in my kitchen, I said, this is so sketchy. So I will tell you, anybody that gives you a hard time, they're probably going to be a good coach. So don't give up on them. Keep asking. So she came, like, it was another month had gone by, and honestly, the price wasn't a factor for me because I had 6-figure income. But when she came back at the end of December, I was like, okay, all right, I'll do that. And so within 2 weeks, I really decided to, start coaching. So I think I'll get into that on the next slide. But I just want you to know that when I started, I was not a big person on social media. I had less than 200 friends on Facebook, and most of my friends were my friends of my 2 daughters, because that's why I was on Facebook. I was in Facebook to stalk my kids and to, see what they were doing. So I didn't post regularly. I had never been in sales. In fact, super awkward at first. And I didn't do any selfies. That was not something that, I didn't just get that whole thing. I also never made a video. So you can imagine how awkward I was when I sat down. I remember I did a group. It might've been a Push to Diamond group. I don't even remember. But we had to do a video and introduce ourselves. And I was like, oh my gosh, I was so awkward. And I struggled to get to my 5 points. So it was very, very difficult for me. But I was determined that I would get that. And I'll tell a quick story. In April, so I started it in December 30th, and I really January, I hit Success Club. I signed my mom and I signed my husband up, got to Emerald. So, but in April, I basically was at Success Club 4, and I didn't think I was going to get Success Club 5. And I remember I messaged my daughter around, it was 10:20, I think, at night. And I'm on the East Coast, so midnight's the deadline. And I said, I don't think, it'll be a miracle if I get to Success Club. And there had been a woman who, my cousin had posted about Shakeology because she was drinking it and she was having success with it. And one of her friends commented, and she basically she had commented earlier in the week, and I started having a conversation with her. And I went to her and I asked her that day, earlier in the day, I had asked her, I said, I'll incent you. I'm trying to hit a goal, and I'll give you $25 if you, sign up with Shakeology tonight. And so she said she would. And so, but then of course the clock is ticking. They don't realize, and her computer wasn't working, and, all these scenarios that you can imagine. And basically she got Shakeology with about an hour and a half to spare in April. So I just have been somebody since day one that I will not give up. I will do whatever it takes. I will be on the computer. I will offer incentives. I will ask everybody before the clock strikes midnight. I will not quit. And that includes New Year's Eve. The last 2 New Year's Eves I've pushed to, get my points. So, but anyways, I had a huge passion for the products. I would not ever have signed up if I wasn't super passionate about how well they work. Shakeology is amazing. I had a lot of problems with digestion and constipation. And so that all kind of worked itself out with Shakeology. And I had got more energy, and I lost, I didn't lose a lot of weight on T25, but it was over the holidays, I lost 10 inches and 4 pounds. So I had a story to tell. I got rid of my back rolls. So I had good pictures. And so I also had a very strong desire to help people. I've always been somebody who, I thought I wanted to be a counselor, and, being in a project management field, I work with a lot of different people, and it's all working for a shared goal. So there's a lot of commonality there with kind of coaching and what I did. And so I also felt like, what I really started thinking about in the beginning was, they say your why should be very strong. And I just had this really deep feeling that it was going to be something that would free me, that I was about to turn 55 when I started, and I did not see an end to when I could be free. Like everybody dreams about retirement, and I saw myself sitting at that cubicle past 60, which I didn't want to do. And the other thing is, I thought I wouldn't even want to retire from this job because it's so much fun. I wake up early in the morning and jump on the computer. I am there till, I can do it like 24/7 if I didn't have to sleep. So I also, just jumped right in and learned, failing forward was a big thing in this business. So I haven't been afraid to, I Google stuff, I go on YouTube and search for stuff. So they say Google's your best friend, right? So there's really nothing that you can't learn. And I have coaches that are I will say I was around technology, but I will also say that I didn't know how to create a Facebook group. I didn't know you could edit your Facebook posts. My daughter had to show me that. So, it wasn't like I knew every application's different. I'd never used PicMonkey, that's something that we all have to learn how to use. So anyways, I'd never created a video either. So that, not even done a video, but created one and put one together. Like I said, Success Club was a non-negotiable. And the other thing that I saw with Beachbody, which I love, is that it was a platform. It already was there. It existed. You didn't have to go and start from scratch. I always, everybody wants to be their own boss, but to start from scratch is hard and overwhelming and expensive. And so, gosh, you can buy this challenge pack, which you get to keep forever, and it's going to help you be healthier, and you get to start earning an income. So I just felt like here I had this built-in platform that you can really do anything with. You can be whoever you want to be and really do amazing things. You can write a book and share your book with people. I mean, it doesn't have to be relegated to, selling challenge packs. You can do so much more with it. And so I think I already talked about not giving up. So what I did, so this is kind of my process. And like I said, I struggled a lot. So initially I reached out to my warm market. And so my warm market was, if you're not familiar with that term, it's kind of like all the people that you kind of have as friends on Facebook. So people that I used to work with, people that were neighbors. So I had recently moved into a new neighborhood, and they have an email system, it's called Nextdoor Glenmore, which is the name of our neighborhood. So I put out that I was going to do a clean eating group. So I think because I had been in a challenge group, when I became a coach, I was just ready to roll. I had a script, another coach, that was nice enough. My daughter, our upline is really not, they didn't have any training, no formal team meetings or anything like that. So actually, a bombshell, Katie Hefner, mentor, took my daughter under her wings. And that's one of the great things I love about Beachbody. So Katie saw like a little shining star in my daughter. So she basically, they adopted us. So we were part of the Bombshell dynasty, but, you know, kind of adopted. So they gave us their scripts. So I had a script to do a challenge group. Somebody gave me a clean eating group script. So all you need is just like somebody to give you a script and then know how to create a group. And then that's what I did. And so I put out an email to our next door Glenmore. I said, hey, I'm doing a free clean eating group. Would anybody like to join? And I think I got 8 people in my clean eating group from that. And I actually sold a guy Shakeology. He stayed on Shakeology for many months. I signed a discount coach. She bought a challenge pack, did T25 and became a discount coach. And she's actually been a coach. She just quit and she's been a coach for almost 3 years and drinking Shakeology and loving Shakeology. She has an oversupply, so she just quit so anyways, so the clean eating group, you know, that's where I started. And I am super, super passionate about free groups. So I think I'll get into that a little bit. So I saw that, you know, I didn't have a lot of friends on Facebook, 200 friends. And my daughter was already like signing up everybody to be a coach. So I created a like page. And at first I didn't really know what I wanted it to be. And so I just knew I wanted to be positive and I wanted to, that's what I wanted to share is inspiration and positivity. And so I just started posting positive stuff. And I actually, my description on my group is still the same as it was when I first started it. And I think it's like sprinkling positive energy, you know, wherever I can, and to anybody who's receptive or something. It was just something simple, and I've kept that. So, but my like page evolved like I did. And so one day I think that, you know, when you really commit to a program and you go through a transformation, something happens inside to you and you become something. And you I don't know, I started becoming so strong, and like I felt like I could do anything. And after T25, I did P90X3. And that is my soulmate program. That is something that I just love. Tony Horton. I love P90X3. And there was a contest. I think I really related to him because he was 55 and I was about to turn 55. And that just really struck a chord with me. And they announced a contest and you could work out you could be in a VIP workout with him at Summit. So I committed to winning that contest. And so during that process, I've started like hashtagging Not Your Average Grandma, just because I thought it was like funny. And I thought that's what I feel like. I feel like I'm not your average grandma. And so that became my like page. So when people are always struggle with their like page name, just start with your name, you know, just start, and it might stay your name. Like if you look at all the top coaches, they just have their name. But I came up with this kind of brand, Not Your Average Grandma, and that just kind of stuck with me. And so, but if I hadn't really committed to that program, I don't think that I would have ever had that name, you know? And so, and then, you know, I was always wondering what to name my team, because my daughter and I kind of came up with the name of her team, and I could have kept that name, but, you know, just like any coach, you want to branch off and eventually create your own group. So, so one day I was laying in bed, and this was several months later. It's probably a year after I'd been a coach, and I came up with not Your Average Army. And because I wanted it to be fairly generic and not exclusive. I didn't want only grandmas, obviously. So that's just kind of like how I evolved. It wasn't there in the beginning. It's just part of me, you know, being a product of the product and growing as a coach, and developing. So what I realized very quickly is I would invite people who were interested in coaching to my daughter's coaching sneak peeks. And when I did branch out on my own very quickly and started using the videos that she was using, which were all, if you can imagine, you know, 20 to 30 somethings, which people my age really can't relate to. So I very quickly realized I need to do my own videos. I just need to get comfortable with doing videos. and I set a date for my coaching sneak peek. And honestly, I was doing the video for the next day, the night before. Talk about like setting a deadline and like, so if you're somebody who kind of like really has to have all your ducks in a row before you do something, you need to stop doing that. You need to like get comfortable with being uncomfortable, because the more you set deadlines and push yourself, the more you're going to fit. That's just part of failing forward. I redid the first time I did them, they weren't very good. And so, but I watched them and I learned how I needed to improve. And then my next sneak peek the next month, I redid my videos. I mean, the sneak peek is honestly like 4 or 5 days, and the videos are like 8 to 10 minutes. And so it's not a lot of time to just sit down and do the video. So I always set rank advancement goals. I hit Emerald right away. I had a target date to hit Diamond. I had a target date, to hit, 1-star, 2-star. So I have a date to hit 5-star, so just because you have a goal date doesn't mean necessarily you'll hit it, but it means that you'll push yourself. You'll push yourself more than if you didn't have it. And so, and make it aggressive too. So I've reset a lot of dates. Actually my Diamond date I did hit. So, but it was 7 months. So it took me 7 months to advance to Diamond. But I launched my like page and started doing ads in June. So if you can see, June and then July, I hit Diamond. So my like page has been very, very key in growing my business. So the other thing I've done is I've independently just decided to do conferences, seminars, trainings. I go to all the events. I think the only Super Saturday I missed was, I think that we had a wedding or something to go to. So I've attended Eric Worre conference, a Tony Robbins conference. When Beachbody corporate comes to town, I attend the trainings. I went to a Les Brown weekend where it was for public speaking, teaching you how to tell your story. So it's really important. A lot of people look at that as it costs money, but those things have really helped me grow and really have built a foundation. Eric Worre, he does this, it's called Recruiting Mastery. So I learned a lot of techniques on how to recruit going to his. So I did his conference my first year. It was like I was a coach almost a year. And then I did Les Brown like 3 months later, and he was there. It was Les Brown and Eric Worre. And then Tony Robbins like later that year. And then this coming December, I'm doing Eric Worre's Recruiting Mastery and taking some of my coaches with me. So I would say invest in those kind of things because they're definitely worth it and they're a write-off. So I learned how to do Facebook ads pretty much on my own. I watched a webinar that Miguel Crusco had done, and he basically just, gave a little how-to of how to do an ad, and how he said get to 1,000 likes before you start doing ads. So I did that. It took me about 10 days to get to 1,000 likes doing ads, basically that he showed, in his webinar how to do. Obviously Facebook has changed a lot since then, the interface and lots of stuff. So, I failed forward. It probably took me 4 months to get the right ad for my sneak peek, my coach sneak peek. And it was super, super frustrating, but I didn't give up. I kept trying. I spent a lot of money before I had a winning ad, they say. But I tell you what, I've been using that ad for almost 2 years. So it has been a super, super valuable ad. So I think the point there is just don't give up. Don't give up when you try something. It just because it doesn't work the first time, doesn't mean it's not going to work. I know a lot of coaches have tried Facebook ads and they've just walked away and with their hands, there's a really good training now called Jesse Reagan does ad training now. I'm actually doing it just because even though I know how to do ads, I knew I'd learn a lot more. So I invested in that. Plus I can help my coaches with what I learn. So along the way, the things that I've learned, and I was really, really bad about conversations in the beginning. And I was very much a getter and not a giver in conversations. And it's funny because now that I've learned so much, I was recently talking to a coach, and she wasn't having success, and I said, well, share your conversation with me. So she cut and pasted and sent me her conversation. It was clearly her goal was to get that challenge pack sale. And so the woman that she was talking to, when you look at the conversation, it was like, she asked her, she invited her, and then the woman started asking her, like, we miss you, since you've been moved away. And, the woman was trying to like talk personal stuff. And the coach kept going back to the sale and kept going back to what she was wanting out of the conversation. And I thought, and it was so funny because I thought, that's exactly what I did. That's exactly what I did. And 2 years later, I can now look at that conversation and know exactly what the problem is. And so I think and Jessica Pasola has this little formula, which I think is awesome. And she never does cold invites. I still sometimes do cold invites, but I've learned to soften them and to really think about, I used to ask a zillion questions too, like put all the information in one big message. And now I just like breadcrumb it, I'll just put one or two like sentences and wait for them to respond instead of just like, verbal vomiting. But her technique is she makes a comment, she pays a compliment, then she asks a question. And so that's what a conversation is all about. And basically, if you're not sure what to comment about, you can go to their Facebook page and just scan it, and then you have something to comment about. I noticed you have kids in college, like my kids graduated. How's that going for you? I'm so glad I don't have to pay that anymore, So anyways, that's just an idea of, how you connect with somebody. And it's all about, with cold market especially, it's all about building that relationship first, and then, then going and asking if they want to join your challenge group. And the whole thing too, and you probably all know this, but I'm just reinforcing it, is that when you connect with somebody, and what happens is Facebook, has this affinity thing where it knows who you're talking to, and it knows who you're, if you're liking their stuff on their Facebook page and you're messaging with them, they're going to see what you post. And so that's why you need to post the next bullet every single day, 3 times a day. And if you miss one time, it's not going to kill you if you miss one time out of 7 days. But honestly, if you miss one time every day, yes, it will. That's your opportunity to showcase what you do, to remind people you're a coach, to remind people that you have a special personality, that, they want to be in your group. Okay. So, I don't post a lot of, every post is not about Beachbody. I'm like a funny person. And so I like to be funny and silly. So, but I basically, when I see coaches after I've told them time and time again, they need to post every day. It's their job. It's like, if you don't post, you might as well have a door sign that says closed. Then I would just say quit, because you're not going to be successful. If you expect to build this business on social media and you're not posting at least 3 times a day, some top coaches say post 5 times a day. I've never posted 5 because I can't do that. But I've done it 3 times a day consistently since the beginning. So yeah, you're not going to be successful. And I'll tell you that, unless you decide to do home parties and you're out and about and you're doing face-to-face. If you're not trying to build your business on social media, you could be successful, but you're not going to be successful on social media if you're not posting 3 times a day. And if you can't, then figure out a way to do it. So there's auto schedulers and Facebook. I was like, oh, this is great. My profile page, your like page, your business page, you can schedule posts. Your profile page, you couldn't. And I just got that feature. Some people don't have it yet. They roll out features kind of, to different groups, segments. So now I can post on my personal page and schedule my posts. So it's so amazing. So There's no reason, if you're busy, pre-plan and schedule your posts in advance. So committing and completing a program and getting results is an absolute necessity. So if you've never completed a program and you have not had a transformation, then that's the first thing you need to do. When we get off this call, you need to sit down with the calendar and you need to figure out what you're going to do. So I just recently did the Ultimate Reset. I never wanted to do the Ultimate Reset. The idea of being on a cleanse for 3 weeks was like, a 3-day refresh I love. It's fine. But I didn't want to do the reset. And the only reason I did the reset was because I got on the scale and I'd gained some weight since I just kind of really gotten off the healthy wagon. And so I still wasn't back to where I was when I started, but it was definitely like on the way. And I injured my shoulder. And so I thought, well, I have to do something because I don't want to, I need to work out. And if I don't work out, then what else can I do? So I did, and I had an Ultimate Reset that I had purchased like around Christmas. So I decided to commit to that. And the great thing about the Ultimate Reset is it gave me something to talk about on social media. And people love food pictures. And so with Ultimate Reset, you make a lot of different recipes. And I tried food that I'd never had, or I never did bok choy. I never did fennel. And so I was experimenting with a lot of stuff. And I actually sold an Ultimate Reset challenge pack because of people saw me doing it. And I got this person signed up as a coach too. So committing to a program gives you something to post about, and it gets you believing in the products again. And it gets you, people believing in you. So that's really, really key, And, I will honestly say that, I did T25, I did P90X3, and then for the longest time I would do programs, but I really wouldn't fully commit to them. And so I did 21-day fix. I did do that, but I got sick in the middle of it. So, and I recently did 21-day fix extreme and loved it. So I committed to that. So I think was it Danielle Natoni did a national wake up call on that, committing to a program, and it was amazing. So it really, really struck me so I went to work after I heard that wake up call. So running a free group, I have run a free group every single month since I started. And if you don't run a free group, you should run a free group, because first of all, you need to give freely. It gets you in the place mentally of just wanting to help people instead of just wanting to get to Success Club. And so I think, free groups can be whatever you want. And what I've been encouraging my coaches to do, because I used to do clean eating groups, and I'm like, I'm not the best meal planner. I'm not the best, person when it comes to, being on point with my meal plan. I don't meal plan a week in advance. I meal plan like a day in advance. So I just saw Autumn's Fixate video, and she does the same thing. So I'm like, yay, at least I'm not crazy. So clean eating groups aren't kind of where my heart is. And so I just recently decided to kind of just do a brand new free group. And I call it 5 Days to a Better You. And I started it in July, and it was amazing. I had like 120 people in it. And then I did another one in August, and it was again amazing. And I got to Success Club 10 in July just from people that were in that free group. At the end of the 5 days, I reach out and say, hey, if you want, to take this a step further and stay connected with me, I do these online fitness accountability groups. So it doesn't require a lot of time, but it needs to be the kind of group that you really are connecting with people in a very profound way. And that I did that with my group. And what I did with that group is I decided to do it. I didn't have the script really done. I just had an idea of what I wanted to do. I set a date. I started inviting. And on Sunday, I was doing Monday's script. On Tuesday, I was doing Wednesday's script. So, and it really worked out. And I kind of was like, ad-libbing as I was going too. One thing I didn't plan on doing was I found a really good music video to play every morning, so people would get in a good mindset. And that was really, really cool I only did that because I was stalling because I didn't have my script ready. I think it was Tuesday. I was like, what am I going to do? Oh, let me do this. And so I did a morning post just on music. And then I did, my more, structured posts later. So free groups, I have a coach who's a dance teacher. So I told her, I said, do a free group that kind of integrates, your dance and what you do with dance into your free group. I have another coach who's a dietitian, and I said, you need to do a clean eating group, but call it something different, because clean eating groups are like a dime a dozen. So, and you can do a free clean eating group. People like free groups, so you're going to have people come. So, and then the other thing is, this is really hard as a coach, but losing friends. I remember I got a message. So I have a nephew who's transgendered. And I remember being really touched by the White House when it was in rainbow colors. And I did a blog post about it. And I have a blog, and I like it. Sometimes it gets behind, but what I usually do is I take my Facebook posts, the ones that are more profound, and I just cut and paste them and put them on my blog, because, Facebook kind of, goes away. Those posts go away. And if you put it on your blog, it's a way of keeping it forever. But anyways, I did a post, a very kind of heartfelt post with a picture of the White House and about my transgendered nephew. And I got a message from somebody, and she said, she basically said, we feel very differently. Well, I don't agree with you at all, or whatever. And she defriended me. And I felt terrible. I was like, oh no, I lost a potential client. But honestly, would I want that person? No. If they, weren't open about being weren't open to loving all kinds of people, I don't think that I would want to be that, she would not like to hang out with me. So, the thing with being a coach is you get to weed out the people that you wouldn't really connect with. So, and I think that's a great thing, but you just have to get over, you don't want to be friends with everybody, right? You can't be friends with everybody. And you're going to be, and I did used to filter what I said. I used to filter a lot what I said, because I thought, and that's why, and I don't know if you've done this exercise, but, do an avatar of your perfect customer, your perfect customer, your perfect coach, who do you want on your team? And it's really going to be a description pretty much of you. And so when you write a post, that's what you're looking at, that avatar, you're thinking about that person, and you're speaking to that person. And that's the best way you're going to connect and find people, is by speaking to that one person and not trying to be speak to everybody and be really kind of watered down and generic. So, all right. So the other thing that I started doing, and I guess, I don't know, in the very beginning, I guess I wasn't maybe inviting consistently. I did have a full-time job, so I think I started thinking about it on the 15th instead of on the 1st. So now I always make the 10th, and I want to hit SC10 by the 10th. So, excuse me, I just had a hiccup. So that's kind of my goal. So I would always stress, if you are struggling to hit Success Club, and my husband used to hate the end of the month, because it was always on the computer, stressing. And so the end of the month is not stressful anymore for me. So, and another thing that, helps is if you plan out your month. I always have my challenge groups early in the month, because I know that Melanie Mitchell does hers on the 3rd. She probably can guarantee getting Success Club no matter what. She probably, even though her challenge group starts at the end, she probably still hits it early. But I have my challenge groups early in the month. I used to run 2. I'm trying to go back to 1. September's crazy because of the health bet and yoga retreat, and I'm doing 2 free groups. Anyway, so the other thing is be organized with, know who you're reaching out to, know who you've reached out to, and have some way of being organized. Now, I am part Emerald, so my daughter is very disorganized. She doesn't keep spreadsheets. So she uses Streak now, but she was using like a spiral notebook for the first 2.5 years, and use just top 20 coach. So if she can do it like that, but at least she had a list, that she, in some way, shape, or form, she kept track of those people. So I started using Team Z. Team Z is a new, it was an application built just for Beachbody coaches. And it costs money. It's $29.95 every month. But I actually sold a challenge pack because of that my first month. So, and it's really great. If you're not familiar with it, there's a coach named Eric, and he's like the ambassador there. If you search on YouTube, you can see webinars on it. It's amazing. I love it. I used my own Google Sheet for a long time. I tried to use Streak. This works for me, Team Z. So, and like I said, the way Team Z works, it forces you to reach out to all of your customers, and it prompts you who to contact, but it does it in a way that you're always reaching back to your old customers, and you're always reaching out to your coaches. And so if you have a lot of discount coaches, then it's really a great way to connect. And so I sold a challenge pack to an old customer, and that's how I paid for my Team Z. So like plan ahead and make sure you have a calendar of what you're doing. And selfies. Oh my gosh, selfies changed my business. So I used to always post inspirational posts, and that was kind of my gig. Even when I became Not Your Average Grandma, I was still doing like inspirational posts. And my daughter, and of course, you guys probably know Bonnie Engel. So my daughter and Bonnie are best friends. And so Bonnie's like the selfie queen. And so she really kind of influenced me. And then my daughter, she said to me one day, "Mom, you just need to do more selfies." And so I do selfies a lot, and I encourage my coaches to do selfies a lot. And my business has been so much better because they really feel like they know you. So, all right. So top tips. So you should be starting 5 new conversations a day. So reaching out to people in your friend list. It could even be like somebody in the grocery store, and, just start making conversations and that lead to something else. So, and make 5 invitations a day. So it could be a free group, a challenge group, or a business opportunity. So yesterday I invited a lot to a free group. I didn't really do any challenge group invites. So because, it's all about, this business takes a little bit of time. And so you can't rush it. You can't rush those things. So the best thing, if you're struggling at all, I'd say just commit to doing a free group and be inviting to free groups, which then lead to challenge groups, which then lead to coaches. It's just kind of a funnel, if you think of a sales funnel. Post every day about your life. So who are you? If you were to go to your Facebook newsfeed and scroll down and you just think like you don't even know you, would I know you after about 5 posts or 6 posts? And if I wouldn't, then you need to change it. You need to start talking more about you. You need to start talking about why, why you're a coach, what you love about coaching. A lot of people think that you have to be talking about money. You don't have to be talking about money. I went from 6 figures to 50K. I don't really talk about money. I talk about freedom, that I don't have to be, answering to a boss. I posted yesterday or the day before, I think it was the day before yesterday, my husband's a realtor. So I got to go look at a house with a client with him. And I love that. I love looking at houses. So, post about, if you love your team and your teammates, that's a huge thing. Everybody wants a good group of friends that are positive. So you want to be posting about, things that matter to you. And that's what people are going to start wanting. They're going to want what you have. And so you're basically, a toned down version of the Kardashians. You don't want to be a train wreck. That's not what you want to attract. You want to attract, people that wants the same things that you have. So, So always give before you ask for something. So in a conversation, free group, I give a lot of free stuff away. So I have a shelf of I buy stuff on, it's investment, it's a write-off. So I try to find things. I have a lot of shaker cups, Shakeology grocery bags. So little tchotchkes. And, when you win stuff too, like, if you commit to doing a program, you get a free t-shirt. So that can be a giveaway. So you can also go to Tuesday Morning and buy little cute journals. There's all different kinds of things. They don't have to be Beachbody things. Oh, I gave away, actually I did a fun group in December. It was a giveaway a day. And I went and got like ornaments and stuff. And I, at the post office a lot. But everybody got to win something. I made sure that everybody in the group won something. So, I have a Veggetti. Oh, I posted about my Veggetti. It's a spiralizer and you can make zucchini noodles. And so I did a post about it, and then I did a giveaway for one on my like page. I just gave it away. So, so the other thing is spend some time on thinking about why you're different, I think everybody thinks it's like, I'm not really special. I don't have any hobbies. My hobbies were my kids, I was a mom and I was a workaholic. And so I really didn't have hobbies. I like to go look at houses. I like decorating, but it's not something that I do a lot of because I don't have time to do it because I'm a workaholic. So, a lot of times people are stuck and they don't think. So there's books, you can look at, there's books that help you do exercises. You can ask your coach, for some personal development recommendations for that. Tony Robbins has a good book. The Success Principles by Jack Canfield's awesome. I love that book. But he goes through like kind of figuring out what your core values are, and then figuring out, what Tony Robbins has this wheel, a life wheel, I think it's called. So you kind of have these different categories in your life, and you rank them by priority and stuff. So that really helps drill down on kind of like what matters to you, and what matters to you, then you can figure out what how you're different. I started realizing, and also when you talk to your customers, when customers are talking to you and telling you why they like your group or what you've done for them, those are going to give you some clues about why you're different and why you're special. So one of the things that I found out for my customers is that I'm really positive. I'm really positive. I like to laugh. I like to smile, and people are attracted to that. And that's why I decided to do a free group. My free group is about my tips and tricks to staying positive, is basically what my 5-day group is about. So figure out what it is about you that's different, and how you can kind of use that as just either creating a free group or posting about, or however you want to make that, stand out. So use that in your business. So Beachbody On Demand, I think is a really, really important thing that a lot of people, my team call last night, I basically just did a brain dump on Beachbody On Demand. I've liked it since it first came out. I sell a lot of Beachbody On Demand or club membership challenge packs because I think it's amazing. And so it's all I use when I do my workouts. So what's her name? I have 10 minutes, so I got to hurry. Amy Silverman did a really great video on, $800 on no's. And basically what she was saying is for every no, you should be offering Beachbody On Demand. So yoga retreat's a real good example. So you could be doing a 3-week free group and promoting Beachbody On Demand, and everybody comes into your free group, has to sign up for a free trial, but it's free. And then at the end, then you can, if they want to stay on Beachbody On Demand, then there's a club membership challenge pack sale opportunity for you. And so I love Beachbody On Demand. And I have a coach that is, basically her alimony was just cut off. And I just told her, I said, push Beachbody On Demand, get a bunch of people on Beachbody On Demand, and that will give you income. That's residual income that will keep coming in from those people. So, still sell challenge packs, but that is really, when somebody says no, don't. And it doesn't mean you're giving up a challenge pack sale, because they can still get a challenge pack at some point. And then offer the coach discount to every single challenger. I think probably 75% of my challengers sign up as coaches. I have a great script that I just use, and I basically say, hey, do you want to stay on Shakeology? There's this great discount. And I talk about, and I have a little chart that has the pricing, and most people who stay on Shakeology convert to coaches. And then always invest in yourself through not only, the training I talked about, but, book reading. Always be reading personal development on your weaknesses. So if you're, for instance, say, you're a new coach, and so you want to recruit people, but you don't feel like you're a good leader, then read Tribes, which is a great book. Read, John Maxwell has some good leadership books. So read about leadership. If you don't have confidence, read a book like You're a Badass. So there's, just make sure you're not reading personal development that is like validating all your strengths, because that's not going to help you grow. Attend every event. So I can't tell you, I get frustrated with my coaches because so many of them don't go to Super Saturday. I'm like, it's awesome. It changed my life. I went to my first Super Saturday. I was a coach 2 weeks, and I went home and became Emerald and never looked back. So it's a great way to connect with top coaches and get great training, and also listen to the National Wake Up Call. I don't listen to them live. I think maybe I've listened to 2 in my whole coaching career live, but I always listen to the recording. Always listen to the recording. And the Inside Shakeology podcasts are awesome, so you should listen to those too. In fact, I did a post this morning on something that Autumn said, which is so great. She said that we treat our cars better, basically is what she said, than our bodies, because we put crappy fuel in it, right? So anyways, all right. So these were some questions that Brooke gave me. So where do I find new coaches and customers? So challenge groups, coach sneak peeks, friends from my past. I reach out to people that were rock stars. So I worked at AOL for 13 years. So I have a lot of friends from AOL. And then I've, had lots of jobs since I left there in like 2005, 6. So I have had 2 or 3 jobs since then. So I just reach out to people that were really great people that I worked with, people that, always showed up on time and did their work, and, got exemplary on their reviews. I advertise on Facebook, exclusively on Facebook. I've been playing with Snapchat only because my kids are on there and it's fun and I like playing with the filters. And I just started posting to Instagram, but I'm not consistent with it. And it's not like I'm trying to get stuff out of it. I'm just posting on there. So, but Facebook is my job, is Facebook. So how to get older coaches who don't need the money. So I thought this was a very interesting question, because to me, it's not about the money. And so that is, and I learned a lot because I was talking a lot about the financial opportunity in my sneak peek in the beginning. And I've completely revamped my sneak peek to talk about my story. And my goal at the end of my sneak peek is not to sign up a coach, it's to get them in my challenge group. But they know all about my story and why I signed up as a coach and why I love being a coach and why they should be a coach too. But if they don't like the products, I've had coaches sign up and then they're a coach and then they don't really, they're not committed to the transformation. I don't know why, but it kind of backfires. And I would rather have somebody do the challenge group and know that they're going to like it and want to move on, rather than somebody who is going to just wants it for the money, and the money doesn't come. I mean, it takes a long time to make money in this business. The rock star coaches that make money in 1.5 to 2 years, that's a rarity. And yeah, that can happen to you, but you have to bust your butt and work really friggin' hard. And And it's hard when you have another job and you're trying to do that. But you can definitely make 6 figures in 4 years. I mean, you just hitting Success Club 5 and being consistent, and over time you're continuing to recruit coaches. And so, so it's really not about the money. And if you lead with money, then you're going to have a bunch of disappointed coaches. So you need to talk about, and they need to want to help people. If they don't want to help people, then they're not going to be a good coach, and they're not going to be happy in this job. So it's not a good fit for everybody, honestly. It was funny, in one of my free groups, the July or August free group, there was a real high maintenance woman in there, and she was actually kind of funny, I thought. But anyways, somebody in the group messaged me privately, and she said, "I don't know how you do it. I could never do what you do." And so I thought, that's really good. I'm glad that she said that, because she was somebody I was looking at as maybe a possible coach, because she had been a friend of mine for a while on Facebook. And I thought, that means she probably wouldn't be a very good coach. So anyways, it's not about the money. So, and then of course, always starting with the discount for people. It's kind of like, putting their toes in the cold water and seeing. All my discount coaches go onto my page, my team page. And I post all, and I just recently had a discount coach, and she was asking about a document that was it was a document for a working coach. So she clearly is doing a little research. So, and I got that I would have never done that, but Melanie Mitro and some of the top coaches do that. So, all right. So that is it that I have. And I'm happy to take any other questions.
Yeah, thank you so much. Do you want to unshare your screen so that just kind of puts everybody on the main page, I guess? That was awesome. That was really, really cool to hear what you've done and how you've done it. I really got pages and pages of notes here.
Good.
And what you said about, we have people that, say they weren't on Facebook, or they aren't on, technology savvy, and they have to learn all these things. And like you said, there is a YouTube video, and there is Google, and there is something on everything. So you just kind of have to take the time and find those things and figure out what you need to learn, and find a YouTube video on how to do that. And I love hearing how you did all that. That's really awesome.
Or find somebody who's good at, one of my challenges has been videos. And so I've started doing a lot of videos on my phone, and so especially with Country Heat, because it's so great with the dancing. And I was recently visiting my daughter in Charleston, and she did a couple things I didn't know you could do. And I was like, oh my God, it's changed. So just look over somebody's shoulder and just, get a couple tips that way.
That's awesome. And then I know you said, you find people to invite to stuff from your challenge groups and from, whatever, and then you had 120 people in your free group. So are you finding all of those people from ads, or are you going into other groups on Facebook? So you're
I've never invited from groups. No.
Okay.
So I run ads. I spend $40 or $50 to run a free group ad. I mean, if I sell one challenge pack, it's more than paid for that ad.
Right.
And then if the person becomes a coach, but I never, when I run ads, my goal is always to just get them to be my friend.
Okay.
If I get their email address and they become my friend, then that's to me a success.
Okay.
Because a lot of times the challenge pack sale is, I have people from my clean eating groups from a year ago reaching out and saying, hey, I'm ready to be in your group now.
Okay.
So sometimes it can be quite a ramp up.
Awesome. What is that organizational thing you said? Is it team and then the letter Z?
It's Team ZY.
ZY. Okay. That sounds awesome.
Yeah. The thing I love, it has a dashboard, and then it just feeds you who you need to talk to.
Right.
Rank people, and then you can also set a follow-up date, but it depending on, it's got a 5-star rating. And if they have a 5-star rating, you reach out to them every 30 days. If they have a 4-star, you reach out to them every 60 days. And it's just it's so great. And then and it tells you, wants to know how much money you want to make, and it tells you how many invites you have to do a day, and
Wow.
how many connections you have to make a day. So it's really it's along the whole relationship marketing concept, and not necessarily sales, because it talks about connections you're making, not like and then if you do an invite, you can mark it as an invite.
Right.
So it's really great. I'm surprised you haven't heard of it. It's like,
Haven't.
it's changed my life, really. Seriously, I've been using it probably about
tomorrow.
6 weeks. I've been using it, but
Yeah.
I think I've only been billed once for it.
Perfect. Yeah, I'll be on there tomorrow.
Yeah.
What questions do you guys have?
Chat.
Anybody? Is there anything in the chat?
I have a question.
Yes. Hi.
Hi, how are you, Lori? Thank you so much.
Good.
I had to jump off for a client call for like 20 minutes, and I was so bummed because I hope I didn't miss a lot. But I had a question for you, and forgive me if someone already asked this. Just tell me to shut up if they did. But you said that when you started, it was more to help your daughter get up and running with her business. But then 2 weeks after you did everything, you switched to coaching. What happened in those 2 weeks that made you
Yeah,
be
that's
so
a good question. I don't know. I think, it's just all about readiness. I mean, so I started in November working out, and I went through, so all November, all of December, thought it was totally sketchy. But then I think I started seeing her have success, because she hit the ground running. She was like making, she got Success Club 16, I think, her first month. So I saw that it was becoming a more real, like, non-sketchy thing. Yeah. And then I went to a Super Saturday with her. So we did live about 2 hours apart. So I knew there was a Super Saturday thing, and I knew that I'd be able to see her. So I went with her, and I just loved it. It was, it was a social thing. And I got to meet some other coaches from her team. So it was more about the kind of camaraderie, and and then I started seeing, oh gosh, maybe this could be something. Maybe this could really be something. I started seeing, looking at stuff like Lindsay Matway's story. I'm sure I'd seen at that point. I remember I signed up for that push thing, the Chalene Johnson. And I remember she put me in new coach training, or her upline put me in new coach training, which really was not really new. It was like Coach Basics on the, I don't know, but it was just too much. And I remember saying, oh, I can't do it. It's too overwhelming. I can't. And I was, back to work after Christmas. And that lasted about 7 days. And then I was like, no, I really, so it's, we all go through that, the initial shock and deer in headlights and maybe resistance, but then for the love of it, you just continue and stay. So.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you.
How long have you been a coach?
A year. Yeah.
Where do you live?
I'm in Ashburn, Virginia, so I'm literally up the street from Brooke.
I raised my 2 daughters.
What'd you say?
I raised my 2 daughters there. They went to Broad Run. They're Spartans.
Oh, nice.
All right.
Anybody else? Mom?
Yeah. I knew you'd call me. So, are most of the coaches you have more our age, your age?
We're all pretty much all in our 50s. I have my cousin's wife is 23. But pretty much, yeah. Everybody, because that's all I target. When I do my ads, 49s. I tried targeting younger, and nobody really, they don't connect with me. So older people connect. I will say that there's a little slower to the, wanting to do something with the business. I see it in the younger crowd, but they're also in dire need of help, in terms of fitness and stuff.
Of the fitness, right. Okay.
Yeah. So I just, I didn't have a business builder really in my age group for 18 months. And then now she's quit. I mean, she was a rock star for 6 months, and then she quit. I have 2 really solid ones right now that went to Summit. So it's just, it's like finding the needle in the haystack, or they're there. You just have to be patient enough and persistent enough to find them. So
Did you find they really weren't your close friends, or were they close friends that you kind of talked into joining you?
my best friends in the business who are coaches on my team are people who answered ads.
Okay. Okay.
So I reached out to somebody that I thought would be a rock star that I used to work with at AOL, and she's done nothing. So you just don't know, you don't know who's going to end up. It's a, what's the word? Shell game. Not really, because you can't move people after 5 days, but yeah. So I mean, don't, the sky is the limit. And I think we are so lucky to be our age and to have this as a platform. Because, and I'm glad I don't have kids to worry about. And I just think, there's a lot of opportunity. I'm surprised so many people still don't know what Beachbody is, or know what, so many people I run into. I think, my daughter's age, there's a lot of people who have used Beachbody programs. So we have a real advantage, I think, with our age group. And we're older and wiser. All of our experience. So, all right.
That's cool.
That was awesome. You did really. That was a really, really good call. You know your stuff.
And I didn't at all. I keep telling my coaches, oh my gosh, I posted something recently. Oh yeah, I had it was 2 years ago, and I was doing a group, and because I tell them to be honest on Facebook, and I posted that I had to cancel my group because I didn't have enough people in it. And I posted that on Facebook. And so I said, and at the end I said, but I'm determined, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to find people who need me. And so I posted that, and I got one person, and she was like, I can't believe that was you. Because, they see me now, and they don't see the awkward, like, non-confident person. But it's just like any job. You just, more experience you get, the more comfortable you are.
Right. So what's your 5-star goal?
December.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. It's hard though, because I built 3-star on my own. So that's my husband, my mom, and my second business center. So
okay.
I had a diamond, but she crashed, and she's no longer with the business. So, but I have 2 that are really pushing. So
awesome. That's great.
We'll see. Just hope they don't burn out. Hope they don't give up. But you have to keep recruiting too. That's the other thing, is don't put all your eggs in one basket. So I said I have 53 active coaches. I've signed 31 coaches this year. So I'm basically kind of where I was in December because of the people who have quit. And then, so just have to keep finding people. It's just keep plodding forward. But I hear that from other coaches too. So
yeah, I'm going to definitely look up some Facebook ad stuff tomorrow.
Yeah.
Jesse Reagan, you said?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, your story's great. I'd love to hear how you evolved and was resourceful and did it all on your own. That's really, really cool.
Yeah. All righty.
Thank you so much.
I think I'm the poster child of senior citizens now.
That's awesome. And it's not your average grandma. It's a perfect name. I love that.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah. All right. Well, thanks so much
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.